Hello, welcome to today's video. We will be going through week one of the Chiefs and Ravens. Just want to shout out to this channel that does the all 22 film so that we can actually look at the film from the game. Share the screen so we can actually see it. All right. So, is it choppy? It's choppy. Let's see how this goes. Hopefully it goes well. All right, so we're looking at this first play. Yeah, it might be getting choppy. So looking at this first play, so as we see it pre-snap, we're looking at this. Essentially, we got 2 by 2, which is what I mean by that. We got two receivers stacked over here to the field side. They motioned in the tight end as well onto the boundary. So 2 by 2. Personnel wise, we're looking at 12 personnel for the Ravens. And what I mean by that, there's one running back. So that being Derrick Henry, two tight ends. I mean, not that it really would matter for the defense perspective, but because it looks like a more so spread look, like 10 personnel, which I mean, the one back, zero tight ends, but there's two tight ends here. You got Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely here. From the defense's perspective, you got two high press corners. So two high safeties are both high. And then you got press here to the boundary, press to the field. You're getting a more so of a bear look. So what I mean by that bear, you got five down linemen, even though I know this is a linebacker. Once this guy crosses the heels of the down lineman, he becomes another down lineman. So even though I know he's in a 2 point stance, you would treat that as a five down look. And then you got two backers in the back end here. Uh, from what they're running run game wise in this look, again, I know it's choppy, it kind of sucks, is pin and pull. So probably better to look at it from the tight angle, from the butt shot. All right. So kind of a clearer look to see that this is a bear look. So again, the best way that I've learned to distinguish fronts is you look at the guard box. So I wonder if I could draw. I wonder. Oh, cool. So probably take me a little bit to get used to this. So all right. So you look at the guard box. So this box right here, the guard box. So you look in that box. If you see one down lineman, so say we'll erase these two. You see one down lineman, it's in the odd family. So one down lineman in the guard box, you would consider that to be in the odd family, whether it be 30, 3, 4, whatever the case may be, how you want to distinguish that. Now, say if there was two down linemen, so say if there was a shade here, the three tech is here like it is, get rid of this nose, this, then you would consider that to be in the even family. So 40, 4, 2, however you want to distinguish that. However, you look at this picture that we got, the still picture right here, you look at it, you got one, two, three down linemen in the guard box. It's in the bear family. Bear, five down, whatever you want to call it, but it's bear. So they're running pin and pull here. Let's all right, play it. All right. So usually pin and pull, you're getting a pin. So a pin down here with tight end. Get back to drawing. All right. I can make it bigger. How about that? Let's do that. All right. So you're getting this here, a pin there. You're getting some type of wrap here, but since it's bare, you would probably want to block this down here. You get a kick out on the end man, which ends up being, I believe, the corner. And then what you could do backside, which looks like they're going to do here, is reach this, reach that. And obviously, we want to try to hit this thing uh, off the down block. And then obviously, if we get a good kick, we're up and through. If that makes sense. So let's see how this plays out here. All right. So again, what I mean by reach the backside, we should be reaching center and backside guard to number 23. Let's see. Let's see how this plays out. That's what all right. Let's see. All right. So it looks like that's exactly what they're trying to do. They're pinning with Likely, pinning with Stanley, wrapping with the play side guard, or excuse me, kicking with the play side guard. Oh, what they actually did. Yep. And they had brought down Andrews. So they brought down Andrews also with the pin as well. So they brought him here. So you get exactly. So you get the kick out there. Should be down here. If we could get the wrap to, if we can get that scooped or cut off backside, we should have a really good play. So what exactly happened? Why did this end up being what it was? So boom. So they didn't end up getting. Looks like they did not end up getting that cut off. I know they did. So here's the thing too. Whenever again, as an offensive lineman, it's the same coaching point really anywhere. If you're trying to block, you know, two guys, you're not going to stay with one. So unless he gets, yeah, never mind. He gets knocked off. That's what happened. He got knocked off. So that's the thing is. So what I mean by it right here, our play side tight end are Likely not a bad initial job down blocking, but when you get in this position, again, when you're down blocking, one thing that the defender's gonna do is gonna fight back across his face. Because usually if you're down blocking, the ball's going, right behind you, right behind your down. So we never want to be in a position like this. If anything, we want to be in a position kind of like how Mark Andrews is number 89 here, because we have this seal. Once you feel this happen as a offensive player, as a we want to be able to run our feet and almost turn it into outside zone. So this play side arm, we want to keep high and almost run the number, run the number upfield. We may not get him cut off, but if we keep running and press him vertical, it's less likely for him to be able to fight back over the top as fast right now. Obviously they didn't get to this backside linebacker. That's what ultimately kind of makes the play here because he ends up bumping the tight end off of his block. But you know, getting to the backer, and it could go from a 4 yard game to a 40 yard game if you get that completed. So that's kind of what made the play there. Is ultimately not getting to the backside linebacker. All right, so now we're looking at this play. So right now, traditionally, obviously if you personnel it, this looks like a 12 personnel look from the defensive standpoint. And again, going back to what I mean by that, one back, two tight ends. But since this is Pat Ricard down here at the bottom, it's really 21 personnel look. But nonetheless, same deal. You're getting kind of an ace look here, 2 by 2 still. Getting a two high shell. You got a press corner to the bottom here, corner lifted, so you could think that's maybe a six kind of look. What I mean by six is you're getting cover two to the boundary here, and you're getting four to the field. Now, when they split this running back out into going into empty, indication of whether you're getting man or zone. So if you're getting man, you're getting the linebacker or maybe a safety to run with the running back. Now, if they just expand, kind of like how they're doing right here, it's zone, if that makes sense. So if the corner goes out with the running back, you know, usually you're not going to put a corner on a running back. You're going to put your corner on a receiver. So you're getting a zone look here. So which it kind of does look like, kind of looks like what I was just talking about. So it could be cover six here. So now offensively, what they're running here kind of looks like you're getting kind of a stick look here. So you're getting this stick here, and then you're getting the expand here, and then it's almost like a stick switch kind of deal here. All right, let's see how the protection looks. All right, so going back to kind of what I was saying before, if you ID this front, you would ID it as to be an even front, or in this case, it's almost kind of a 4-3 kind of look because you're getting three backers in the box, getting getting three backers in the box. All right, so yep, pause it right here. You're getting a 4-3 sort of look. So what I mean by a traditional 4-3, obviously you can count three backers in the box. But if this guy is stacked or has a piece of the center in this case, usually in a true 4-3 look, you're getting the mic stacked over the center. Now, like I said, he's not truly stacked over him, but you still want to ID that to be a 4-3 box. Obviously, you got your two down linemen, two DNs, you got sixes, head up techniques, and then you got sort of a sort of a 40, 50-ish backer here, 50-ish backer here. It's gonna keep it's gonna keep that thing. Ads, baby. Yeah, I want to just give a good shout out to this channel that keeps these games. I think it's again a great source to be able to look at obviously what the league does. Uh, I believe also too is a couple college games that are on here too. But like I said, man, this is kind of what I'm aiming for as far as kind of the content I want to be able to get to you guys. So again, going back to the same play we just had, so they motion the back out. Like I said, it's a good way to understand whether it's man or zone, which again, they know they're getting zone here. So what's the line doing? So right now they got a six-man protection. So really, in a traditional look, when you don't motion the back out, you're getting, in most cases, a half-man slide. And what I mean by that is you're getting, so if I can draw this right. So it looks like what they're doing here is they're sliding to the right. They're making a raid call. At ACU, we used to use rappers' names, or you go east, whatever direction that tells you you're going right. Um, Regardless, this side of the line is sliding to the right. So the center is responsible for the A gap. Play side guards responsible for the B gap. Play side tackle responsible for the C gap. Again, they're not blocking men; they're blocking gaps. So if they were to get some type of blitz, dagger, bullet, whatever outside pressure you want to call this, an edge, usually what will happen is you're getting a reduction here and you're getting a reduction here. Sometimes they can even go backside here. But regardless, if we're staying true to our rules, it will sort itself out. So obviously kicking out to the C gap, whatever comes here, staying in the B, got the A. All right, let's all right. So that's how that works. Play it out, see how it works. So yeah, that's what they're doing, sliding there. Now, in this look, however, they got the fullback in, so it kind of almost it's kind of a little weird because it's not like they're necessarily full sliding. They're still treating it like uh, a ray call or a traditional half man slide. They're sliding it, cutting it in half, sliding like kind of how we just drew it up. So backside now, backside rules usually how it plays out is the backside guard, you have one LOS. And what I mean by that, you have the first thing on the line of scrimmage. So your man, you got him dead to right. So we're here, and then backside tackle, we're here. Now they're getting again this fullback entity, he's staying in to protect. So he can kind of really be good and be thick into this help in order to kind of peek and see if the fullback needs help in his pass responsibilities. So they gain a hat there, but that's kind of how that protection plays out there. All right, let's go to the next play. So bang the stick, it's open, got a couple of yards out. All right, so again, I looking at how this look again, another 2-by-2 look. So again, from a defense perspective, you're getting really one high. Let's see post picture how this plays out. I mean, it's too high. It is too high, but it's like it is the skies. It is the skies well. Regardless, and it's too high. It's too high. You're getting pressed here. It almost looks like it's really zero from the way it looks. What I mean by zero is there's some type of blitzer. It's one. It's man coverage. And again, another look of why it could be that is because if you look at the front, it's another bare look. Now, seeing how it goes post snap, again, it's really, they stay, it's almost kind of corners are man turning, safeties are in a zone. It's kind of, and that's one thing too that I'll say that when it comes to coverages and reading it out, I mean, from a base shell, I can understand the standpoint from the whole schematic deal. That's something I'm still trying to learn and grow in. But again, from the shell look, you get a too high look. Corners, you could tell pressed, and they stayed man to man. Now, again, looking at how the front plays out. So again, traditionally, if you really look at this, if you look at just the guard box, now again, we're looking at just the guard box. So if we look at just what we got in this guard box, if you look at how many men in the line of scrimmage, or excuse me, line of scrimmage for the guard box, you really only have one. So again, this is in the odd family. Now, with the odd family, though, again, you can either fours or four eyes, which this is, I'd say that's probably borderline four eye, and this is a four/four eye because it's essentially tilted in a little bit. And then you got both walk ups up, so you got this backer up and this backer up. So they could have ID'd it as bear just because of how the structure standpoint looks like. Let's see how they kick out to it. And usually in pass pro for bear, like again, when you get to the higher levels, and especially if you got 5-man pro, so what I mean by 5-man, you only got five guys to protect it. So just the offensive line, no back, no extra help. You would usually bob this. Bob means big on big. So everybody is man. So the biggest coaching point is you want to, as a center, you want to be able to get some depth. Obviously, you take a short set, and then here, one thing you want to do too at tackle, especially with when you got threes or really a B gap player in general or head up technique, is you want to set vertical, but you want to keep your inside hand up. And the reason why you want to keep your inside hand up is so you don't get games or you don't get in the twist. You know, you don't get picked on a twist. So let's see how this plays out here. Damn, this is gonna be annoying. Just get rid of this freaking drawings. All right. So seeing how they initially set, they're setting like it's big on big. And looks like the back is checking. I'm sure his checking responsibility is this Mike number 32. and then obviously that you get the drop offs here, but you still set to the man. See how Ronnie Stanley, the first let's go back just a couple, hopefully the so if you go right here, that first initial kick, he's setting out to the man. Even though he's dropping, obviously you can see him dropping and you can help. But you need to set out like, obviously I got this man. Mine dead to rights. All right. See why we gave up this pressure here. Obviously, Chris Jones, all pro, really good defensive lineman, probably one of the best defensive linemen the Chiefs have seen since Derek Thomas. But good initial set by the right guard, but one thing you want to do, especially in a man protection type of deal, when you know you got a man to man, but you never want to punch down the middle of a man as an offensive lineman. You punch down the middle of a man equals death. And what I mean by that is this outside hand, you never want to punch right down the middle of because obviously, D linemen, you guys are working those strikes on dummies, those strikes on, you know, cans and cones. You're working your hands, just like offensive linemen are working their hands. But you never want to punch down the middle of them because once you get rid of that hand, you got nothing else to go to. That's why you want to aim outside pec, outside shoulder, and then inside bicep right here. That's where you want to aim. Or sternum, excuse me. But you want that's as far as your outside hand, that's where you want to aim. Because if I aim and say if I were to miss, say if you were to if I were to miss out here, it still gives me time to be able to recover and refit. But if I miss down the middle, it's very hard to be able to recover. Because especially too, so let's rewind this. You not gonna do that. Usually D linemen too, they're trying to work to get to the back of this pad tip too. So especially if you punch down the middle, that gives them an easier reach to be able to reach back there too. So see see if I can click this right. So boom, see how again you reach right back there and the punch went right down the middle. Punch down the middle equals death. Now obviously he didn't get the sack, but still doing that type of deal, that's the first quarter. First drive. You know, create impression. You don't want that to obviously happen. All right. So and again, right here we got looks like another 2-by-2 look. You got tight end or that's the tight. Yep, you got tight end off the ball to the boundary. All right, you're getting so we're getting press corners. You're getting you're getting a two-man shell. I know obviously the safety is very low to the boundary, but it's still you would consider that still to be too high. Obviously, this guy's high. Really, one high would be like if obviously this guy's over the ball or in the middle of the field. That's kind of your one high indicator. But um oh God damn. All right. So they dump it. Looks like they got the first down. All right. So and again, looks like we're getting another bear look. So even though, again, those two guys over the guards are backers, they're still breaking the heels of the D lineman. So when you ID this as a center, and usually, again, the guy that's usually IDing this, again, it could be the quarterback, but in most cases, the quarterback of the offensive line is going to be the center. So I'm pretty sure, again, especially too in the NFL, you got, I mean, they huddle every time. They there's usually they got plenty of time to communicate the call before they obviously snap the ball. Obviously, if you're a high tempo type of offense, it may it may be applicable to be able to use comms and ID the front and say, but nonetheless, you are communicating and you know what's going on before that play happens. And it's usually for the offensive line wise, it's usually the center. They're the ones that got the biggest mouthpiece because They're the one again. You touch the ball every time. You're making sure the snaps going. Like you are the rock of that offensive line. You're the heartbeat of it. So, but however, it looks like what we got here though, instead of them bobbing it, they got a slide going on because they got extra guys to be able to protect. They got the tight end with them, so they don't bob this. So they full man slide it. So what I mean by that is everybody's involved in the slide. There's not no half man slide. So now this play side tackles got C, this play side guards got B, the centers got A, this backside guards got backside A, this backside tackles got backside B, and then this tight end sealing off the C. And I'm assuming, obviously, if there's any blitz, which this running back looks like he's checking it before he gets out, he's it's almost borderline a 7-man pro, but he's got to get out. All right, so all right, let's see how this goes. So overall, some pretty good protection, obviously. And again, the biggest point, I know obviously it's a 4-man slide, so it's kind of hard to hit home this point, but usually pocket integrity, tackles usually control the depth of the pocket, so they usually control this again, getting their depth. Interior centers and guards, you guys control the width. So biggest thing for a tackle, say if this guy was like Chris Jones, your Von Millers, your guys that love to, use speed to power. If they get up the field, if I get my depth, the quarterback still has time to be able to step up. That's on the cue to be able to step up. Now, if the cue steps up into some that, if we don't control the width, so the width, a lot of the times the fight happens right now in the interior, especially if you're at center and you got a zero nose, you got a zero nose on you, the fight happens right now. So I got to be able to kill that rush at least on line of scrimmage, if not like I got 1 or 2 yards of integrity. But tackles, you got a little bit more room. That's why they're mostly the most athletic guys on the line. Not to say that they are, but they have to be because they control the depth. They're guarding, they're blocking guys that run like 4.5s, 4.6s now. So they got to be able to move and be athletic. All right. But overall, some pretty good protection here. Again, gap over man, pretty good by the play side guard, pretty good by the center, passing off that twist. Obviously, they're trying to drop the T line, be cute, but you do that again. He's running, but usually not known for covering a running back. All right, so right here now we're in 22 personnel. So two backs, two tight ends. You only got one receiver. Now this is as one high as it gets, and it should be one high. If you're getting a two high right here, I mean you're pretty crazy because obviously what we got personnel wise here. So from a front standpoint, it looks like we have a 40 front, and what I mean by that is the zeros indicate that these overhangs are on the ball. So it's safety, I assume that's usually here. He's he's walked on up, and then excuse me, that's the corner. But regardless, still you got the corner, you got the safety here, and then you got your backers here. So really, it's a might be a 4-3. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. So looks like we didn't get a ton. So yep, you got a 4-3. So again, stack again. I know it's not a true stack, but that again, this Mike Backer is still touching the center. So you treat that as a 4-3 look. You got two sixes. So you got head up techniques on the tight end. You got a shade here, a four technique. So even though there's only one man in the guard box, you probably I mean, that's the thing. It does get kind of wonky, but still, it is a 4-3 structure. Four down linemen, you got a stack on the backer. So saying let's see how this rolls here. So looks like they're trying to run some type of inside zone with a split or type of fullback where he's kicking out. Let's see why it didn't work. So it looks like the line is zoning to the left. And what I mean by zone is everybody's staying on the track. Everybody's blocking play side. So say if we want to run again, whatever you want to call it, say you want to call it Louis, whatever. Everybody's blocking what step play side, get vertical. Now it looks like they made a call to be able to say that this is the guy that they're killing. But regardless, he's arcing out. Now, the reason why I got these lines because that's where they're comboing to. Their comms pre-snap, and then he should be zoning this off to whomever becomes in this gap. And then kick here, and then want to hit that downhill. So now you step play side gap. If nothing is in your gap after one step on any type of inside zone scheme, you are climbing to the second level. So it becomes covered and uncovered. So what I mean by that, if I look at my gap, if I look at my play side gap, am I covered or am I uncovered? So let's start with the play side tackle. Now, again, this is kind of a little bit of a nuance because they're kicking out this guy. He would technically be uncovered in this scheme. Looking at the play side guards, looking at 72, is there anything in his gap? No, so he becomes uncovered. So usually, if I'm the uncovered man, I'm looking to help out the guy that's covered and build a double team. So I still step play side because I still want to step with my play side foot, but then I'm looking to create this double team, this deuce, this combo with this play side with my adjacent offensive lineman. So look at the center; he's obviously covered. So he's probably thinking, "I'm overtaking this. I'm blocking this until there's no color in my game." So step play side, getting vertical, double uppercutting it, and obviously we're building this combo. We should be saying combo right here to 32. Looking at the left guard, covered, uncovered. Step play side, going right here to 54, combo to 54, 65. I'm covered. If anything inside or outside, head up inside. That's how I know if I'm covered or uncovered. Outside, head up inside. If I got nothing on my outside, I look head up, nothing head up, back inside. So boom, 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 boom. Head up, I'm covered, boom. Step play side, get vertical. So let's see how this works out. So boom, everybody takes a step with their left foot. Now, obviously, again, Chris Jones is a hell of a player. Don't get me wrong, but again, the reason why we end up on the ground here is because we lose our base. And again, I do like again, this is a little bit more advanced. Obviously, these are way more advanced humans. But I love the shuffle because that's what he's kind of trying to do. He's almost kind of shuffling or stepping and getting into almost not necessarily a gallop, but trying to keep his shoulders square is kind of why you do this stuff. But the base is why his base is so narrow. That's why he loses his base. Because really, I'll tell you what, again, Chris Jones made a hell of a play. If he stays covered up right here, and turns Chris Jones out, but if he stays covered right here, now Chris Jones probably getting yelled at for doing what he just did because now it opens up this gash down the hash. You create that wall again. We're getting covered up here in a pretty good position here. Obviously, this is the kick out here. Center's not in a bad spot. Guards in a good spot. Not a bad spot by the tight end. Again, everybody's covered up. And that's one thing. Again, this is why I love football because in any other sport, a guy can really make a hell of a play. It could be almost like a one man sport. I mean, I'm a big LeBron James fan, and I mean he's taking freaking Lay's chips and peanut butter crackers to the freaking finals. Like not to say obviously those guys are in the NBA for a reason, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like guys can take them, like can really project their team based off of just one guy. But especially playing offensive football, and obviously that's something that I've learned is like all 11 guys got to buy in. Even again, it's a hell of a play by Chris Jones. Hell of a play. Like again, that's why he's an All Pro. Hell, he probably be a future Hall of Famer. But if one guy's wrong on the offense, it could show. It will show up. The ball will find you. The ball will find you, good or bad. Again, it's a hell of a play. It's a hell of a play. But I'm telling you, if he would have stayed fitted up, it's a really, really big explosive play right there, especially for Cal Bell, Derrick Henry. All right, so here we got a bunch. So again, I probably say it's 12 personnel. You got two tight ends, two receivers, one back. From a defense perspective, you're getting too high. Looks like they walking up in the nah, just walking up an edge. They're bringing a pressure. So it looks like almost looks like they're running two right there. All right, looking at the tight. So again, I D it as an even front, 40, 4-2. It's really a 4-2. Anyways, so what we got right here, that's one thing too, as an offensive lineman, and obviously speaking volumes of the offensive lineman because that's something I play. But anyways, you always got triangles, right? And what I mean by that is you have pre-snap indicators of where you want to look before you know the ball is snapped, and especially like if you can get to these triangle reads before the ball is snapped. Obviously, it's more for guys that are veterans in their offense and understand kind of what's going on and the schematic scheme of everything. And it's kind of something that I teach to my players if they understood it. But everybody's got a triangle. And what I mean by that, like in this front, an even front, if I'm the center, I'm looking at my two interior D tackles and my Mike backer. So in this case, I'm looking at these two D tackles and this Mike backer. If I'm the guard, say if I'm this right guard right here, I'm looking at my D tackle. I'm looking at my D tackle and this backer, this 30 backer. He was a 30 backer. He's starting to creep over here. This 30 backer and this DN. If I'm the tackle, I'm looking at my D tackle, my interior backer, and any outside entity. So that's just in a 30 front. If they get into an odd, I'll go into the depths of that and bear. But so the whole point of the triangle deal though is if my triangles ever stack, if I ever got a stack in my triangle, that usually means something is rotten in Denmark. Something is out of the ordinary. You know, like right here, you look at these two stacks, you look at these two stacks, post snap, those guys will not stay in the C gap. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, pre snap, we have nobody aligned in the B gap. You look at the other pitcher, or excuse me, the other side of the line, you got somebody aligned, you got a 20 backer here, you got a three tech, you got, and then you got obviously a nine, and then this guy's obviously over number two. But usually there is somebody accounted for in that gap. Defenses play sound as well. They get paid too. So they're not going to leave a gap uncovered. So the reason I say that is because I look at my I look at my triangle. There should be sensors going off right now that there's something going to happen on this right side of the picture. So let's see if that's what we communicate. Looks like we're communicating right there. So right now they are looks like actually So it looks like they're actually sliding to the left. They're sliding to the left, and they know pre-snap that we're already going to kind of the center tempos it because again somebody's going to be accounted for this A gap. So he tempos it and picks up this guy coming across his face. So which now it kind of contradicts the 3 man slot. But again, communicating, everybody's staying on one page to be able to pick up this pressure because it looks like again they probably should have slid this the opposite way, but they made it right. So again, see how when we have a 3 tech, we want to keep this inside hand up at tackle. So we again now he's kicking out to him because he starts seeing him getting outside. But this is why we keep this inside hand strong, so we avoid any picks that happen right here. Again, we obviously as the guard, we want to keep our hips a little bit more square for longer. But again, again fighting a holy war with an all pro, so it's well appreciated. All right, so let's go to the next play. All right, so we got 2 by 2 again. Got 2 by 2 again. Got a 2 high. Huh, yeah. All right, see what we got from a front standpoint. So front wise, as far as before the mic backed off, again, pause it right here. Again, you're getting another bear look. Get another bear again. The lead another thing too, really it's actually jam, but I've been calling it bear. But the difference between bear and jam is this choke player. So say if like they were in true man coverage, they were in true man coverage, they got what do they do with this guy? I got you. All right. So going looking at it like this. So all right. So say if there were in jam, for example, and we brought this guy down, and again it'll probably be some type of 1 or 0. They brought 27 down to here, and they brought this guy inside here. So this guy is now lined up here. Again, he's choking the tight end. So he's got him man to man. You got again a 0 nose, 2 B gap players, 2 3 techs, again a 5, and then you got a 9 there. Again, this Miker, again, I'm just saying it's 27. Say if he was he'd usually match the back because he would have him man. But anyways, that's not what they're in. But that's the difference between Jam and Bear. So technically, this is Jam. So all right. So again, looks like they're making a big on big call. Yep, they're making a big on big call, but they have the tight end in to protect. And I mean, I'm coaching tight ends right now, so I love them to death. But it's always good to have an extra hand that be able to help out your fellow offensive lineman. Now, obviously, the tackle is, tries to obviously help him out, but again, KYP, that's the biggest thing. And obviously, I've been pointing this guy out the whole time because he's a hell of a player. But Chris Jones, there's a reason why he sees again, and as a tackle too, I see what he sees. Like he sees after this one, really 2 kicks, he sees that Marcus got him. Now he's trying to help out the guard to be able to help out Chris Jones. Now obviously he sees him lose late and tries to get a piece of that. But this is again both both are working hand in hand to try to help each other out. That's a pretty good jump set by left tackle 79. And this is like a true jump set. He takes one, So boom, he takes his one. This again looks like a pass, and then he all hands on the jump set. See how hat is back, hands strike. That is teach tape, a jump set right there. Um, Looking at this interior, looks like a left guard center. Pretty good by the center, getting this depth. Obviously, the left guard set out to 32, just to, and again, is active with his eyes, looking for help. Obviously, I get a PI call here. Yeah, flexing on him. Yeah, whatever. All right, let's see what we got here. 3-by-1. You get a little nasty split. Again, getting the one high. Got man coverage. All right, let's see. Yep, true man. So true. Cover one. All right. So again, look what we got here. Again, looking at the guard box. Again, I know those are two backers, but again, you would ID this as bear. Bear, or jam. Excuse me. Jam, jam, jam. Jam, jam, jam. So again, setting out to this, they call big on big. Obviously, these two backers right here look like they're matching the tailback. So wherever the tailback goes, he's got him. And then 54 obviously becomes the rusher, even though he's obviously KYP. I'm sure they're probably telling him to just spy Lamar. So again, looking at these sets, who wants to see what these sets look like? Again, it's pretty good by both tackles, really. It's about as clean as a pocket you'll ever get for, I mean, NFL. It's a real clean pocket. Obviously, he probably could have stepped up, but I mean, deliver the throw and made the play. All right, you got motion. Like again, some type of wide zone. See what it looks like. All right, so you're getting 42. They snap it. It's a pretty good jump by the right guard. I mean, yeah, that's about. So when we talk about running wide zone, and again, it's the same principles as inside zone. Everybody's blocking their play side gap. Now, obviously, it's a wider path because of the play. It's wide zone. So, uh, what we're doing here, trying to get accomplished, is obviously getting the ball outside. Now, it's a three-step indicator, like I talked about. Inside zone being a one-step indicator where we step after one step, we climb. Three steps now, then we climb because the tailback is usually making his read on his third step. So right about here is when he obviously puts his foot in the ground and gets vertical. So looking at this picture, I mean, let's look at the right tackle. So I think it's a really good job of just running off the football and getting vertical push. It's unnatural those first couple steps to really run off the ball because you want to stay as square as you can before you get to that third step and then try to strike and get on a vertical path. Trust me, again, I, I'm already knowing because I ran this technique for thousands of reps. But again, there's a couple ways you could do it, but usually the way it's taught, I would say, for kind of the basics, is you usually drop about, they say, step in the bucket, first step, second step, you gain a little bit more width. Then that third step, you're getting almost on a 45 and starting to work vertical on that 45. So it almost looks like this whenever you're said and done, you know. So let's see the angle of this right tackle steps. Obviously, they're gonna. So again, lost some ground that first step. Again, same with the right guard as well. I mean, same with really everybody except they're manning the backside with the left tackle, and then they're wrapping with Ricard. But looking at how this plays out, so first step, boom, second step again, get a little bit more width. But see how this third step and this striking point that's about to happen with this right tackle is exactly kind of the where we want to put this defender. exactly where we want to put this. Now your hat is going to work to get to the play side armpit, along with that outside hand as well. You want it about on the almost underneath the armpit if we could. So like right here, the striking point. And since he knows he's man, he really wants that out this backside hand to be on his almost his rib. So he doesn't let him fall back into the play because he knows he's probably not going to get a ton of help from this guard here. So let's see the striking point. So see, it's about again good here, and again since this combo here is working, it's really good by the center to understand on my third step if there's color showing, I got to make a decision. Do I overtake the color or do I knock it over? And here he decides to knock it over and then climb. See what I mean by that? He knocked it over and climbed. So again, it makes this picture clearer for the tailback. Because really, what he could do here again on his third step. Now, I'm sure he probably thought about maybe hitting it down this hash, but he sees this color show up right here. Now it's good by 77, still staying on that backside hand. Now, granted, obviously, we'll want to say stay square, don't turn your hips, but he's blocking the man. See how, again, him doing that, there's no tackle being made. And obviously, Derrick Henry going downhill is a problem for any defense. Little commercial break, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I hope this is insightful. I'll try to get obviously I'll get through this drive and we'll go through a Mahomes drive and I'll probably uh, see where we're at for time. But this is kind of the content I want to be able to bring to you guys. So like I said, I think it'll be very beneficial. Like I said, I wish there was something like this that was as a player and like I said, just kind of what I've learned. I think it's like I said, it could help people. I hope so. Like I said, I know I'm talking more so for the offensive line because obviously that's what I know, that's what I play. But in general, though, just talking ball, I think from a defensive standpoint and understanding defenses and that type of deal. So looks like they're running some type of GT read here. All right, so again, front wise, front wise, looks like we're getting a 4-3 look. You got two sixes, so head up techniques on the tight ends. You got a 2 wide and a three to the tight end on the ball. Run game wise, now this is something that I like. What they're doing front side with this Ricard here, and it looks different to the defense, but it's really something you can do too as an offense, and it'd be the same play. So one thing that we do, and it's what we do in our offense, which I like a lot, is you could flip these calls. So I mean, Ricard is probably one of the best fullback blockers that you'll probably see in the game of the NFL today. But so what I mean by that is you could probably tell Ricard on this to block down and build a wall here on this six. Now, blocking a six off the ball is probably one of the hardest things as a tight end you can do. It's just like telling an offensive lineman to block ahead of four high. I mean, it's hard as shit to do. However, one thing that they look like he's doing, which again, that's something that we do with our powers and our gap schemes, is he's arcing out to the flat area defender, arcing out. So he arcs out, and usually a six. And there's two types of defenders in the in defense. There's read and react, and there's gap penetrators. Read and react guys, if their head up techniques, uh, or if they're linebackers, second level, third level defenders, they're automatically read and react. What I mean by that, you got to get your hands on them to defeat those guys. Your KJ Watts the world, your Chris Jones, Those guys are read and react guys. Guys that get up the field and penetrate gaps, usually like on blitzes and that type of deal. It's all about getting your hat placement in the right frame of mind to be able to defeat those guys. But anyways, a six technique is a read and react guy. So if this guy arcs, more than likely this guy's going to expand with them for a step or two and then play the play. So which makes it an easier kick out for this guard here for the end man line of scrimmage is kind of what should happen. So again, that's something that I like. That's something that I knew that I learned this year, which I really like a lot that we do in our offense. So see how that arc by Ricard caused a little bit of hesitation for that DNC. How he's now, if you got a defense or anybody in a deer in the headlights, that's exactly what you want. This is what it looks like, especially from this little influence by Ricard as well is really good. So you get somewhat of a kick out. We get the kick out here. Again, not the biggest hole. That's the thing too, is like they probably gained about four yards on this. I mean, yeah, about 4 yards. That's a good play. Anything that gains 4 yards, 3 yards, I mean, you'll take those. You'll take those. All right. Just getting the bunch set, getting a little IZ arc, IZ read arc. All right. So this front, from a structure standpoint, it's a 4-2 S on. What I mean by the S, 54, he's on the ball. There's Sam. Um, and it's still a 4-2 structure just because this backer that's usually here, that'd be a 30 backer, he's now over here. So, uh, anyways, obviously bringing a pressure here. Now, line is just zoning it off, right? Zoning it off, zoning it off. They're blocking to the right. Now, they're reading number, I believe that's 94, and see how obviously if he dives in, he plays the tailback, keep it. I mean, pretty common. Now, this is good by the backside tight end or number 80, likely being able to avoid collision by that DN and be able to get out and make that block on that defender. Obviously, you'd like for him to stay with him, but I mean, it's still to, I mean, got a first down, I'm sure. All right, go 2 by 2, empty it out. Now it's 3 by 2. Now again, it goes back to the very first run play they just ran, pin and pull. All right, let's see how this worked out. All right. So how come in the first clip, first play, you might ask, they only pulled one guy on pin and pull? Well, it's because that first play they were in bear. Now, since it's an even front, or if it was an odd front, you could get two pullers out. Really, in pin and pull, I mean, if you're uncovered, you usually will pull. Like sometimes you can get a scheme where you can pull three guys, but nonetheless, you're able to pull, in this case, the play side guard and the center here. So still same deal. You're getting a down by the tight end, a down by the play side tackle. You're getting a kick out by the play side guard and a wrap by the center. Backside guard and tackle should be cutting it off, cutting the defense in half to number 32. That'll end up scraping over the top. So again, down here, down here. Kick the first thing out. Wrap for here. See how it looks. Okay, so since there was no flat area defender to kick out, it's pretty good by the guard. Understanding football again. At the end of the day, we could draw this up as coaches and be able to pick apart a defense with a marker, but you got to be at the end of the day as a player, you got to be able to be a football player. So since there was no flat area defender to kick out, he there's becomes two wrappers. So Which really, if you pause this clip right now, it really should be, looks like it should be a touchdown. Again, they end up zoning it off to the backside backer, 72. Now, again, what I just talked about, read and react, guys, you got to get your hands on them. So, not a bad position, but those hands got to become clamps. You can hold every play an offensive lineman holds. Like it's a known fact. Like you could call it now. The reason why there's not a holding play or a holding flag every play is because you hold within the frame. You get within the frame to hold. So that's why it's important to do that. So you can get plays like that to be a touchdown, but they just end up scoring that play anyways because they have deuce deuce. So here again, 22 personnel. Got two backs, two tight ends. It almost honestly kind of looks like power without a puller. I mean, that's not really duo, but so what they're doing here is essentially they're getting two combos to get vertical with the left guard, left tackle, center, right guard, and they're just zoning the play side tackle and tight end. So what they're doing is they're kicking out or kicking up and through with the fullback, and this combo. So let me just draw up what they're doing. This is going here. Like I said, that's why it kind of does look like power a little bit. This combo is just really just trying to get movement to probably go here. Got the cutoff, base, and they're here. And this fullback is up and through right there. So, and obviously, love touchdowns. So, all right, let's go to what this first drive. So that was just one drive. So usually, again, I don't mean for it to be this long, but this is why too. I think it's just the detail you could find within each play, or just the pieces you could point out from each play. I think is just very uh noteworthy and very like again just things that you could just piece apart together. That's one thing too. I mean, even stuff I'm sure you could find from special teams in general is just it's a lot. And this again, this is just one game. This is just I mean, we're not even through the first quarter yet. All right, so looking at the Chiefs. All right, so starting off in a bunch look. Again, tight end's got a nasty split motion. So now it goes to a 2-by-2, kind of reduced stack look. All right. They throw a little RPO. Shout out to Rasheed Rice. Actually, Halton, I mean, I didn't play against them, but Halton's rivals, Richland, they used to be the Rebels now, I'm not sure, I forgot what they are now. But, anyways, so it looks like they are running a RPO. So again, run pass option. So looks like they're getting a little rub there to the field side. And then down here in the box, they're running, it almost looks like they're kind of running a sort of down power ish look. So, so it kind of goes back to what I was just talking about with these calls. That goes back to that Ricard deal that just happened. So again, love Travis Kelce. That dude would be a Hall of Famer, but this probably blocking a seven or just blocking a first down lineman is probably not his biggest expertise. But not saying he can't do it, but just you know what I'm saying. So still down here, bypass going down here instead of him rapping for 23, he's now kicking out the first thing on the line of scrimmage. So now he's kicking out 53, and then Travis replaces him. We're down here. This double team's going back to zero. Still get the gap hinge right here. So, like I said, it's more so like a down power, but obviously they don't like run plays to throw it. right, another 2-by-2 look. Motion in. Looks like we got man coverage across the board. That's one thing I'm interested to see too. Is like, and I watched a bit of this game live and seeing, you know, I feel like it's hard to play man coverage in these type of stack looks and bunch looks, but the Ravens did it a good amount, at least this game. And I mean, if obviously they had pressure breakdown, but if route got all the way over across, that's the route he probably I'm sure wants to throw, but he couldn't throw because he got that Mike sitting over the ball. But I feel like it's very hard to be able to play man coverage with reduced splits, bunch sets. Like, but the Ravens did it a good amount. So, all right, let's look at this. So again, looking at this box, you got a 4-2 front. So again, they slid the line to the left from our point of view, the right. So again, we're man on one LOS backside. It's a really good punch. That's the thing too, is like when you punch as an offensive lineman, there's gotta you could tell it's a good punch when there's snap back. And what I mean by that, the defensive lineman's hat snaps back. It literally sounds like what it sounds like. So see, and again, now it is a high punch. Don't get me wrong, but that's violence, and that's something that, especially in the trenches, that like I mean, if you're a freak like me, I mean, you love this shit. Like this is a great punch, and again, he used independent hands, and again, especially when you're on the man side too, you can have you have the freedom to be able to do that because again, you're manned up. Like if so, he misses. Usually punch two outside in. So if you miss, obviously you can be able to fit with the inside hand and be able to still have time to recover with that outside. But that's really a really good punch by that guard, uh, and being able to just keep fighting. Obviously, I know his man gets in on this sack, but that's ultimately, I mean, that's a good NFL pocket. It's a coverage sack. It's, the announcers will call it. That's Tony Romo and all those other guys. All right. All right. So you, if I remember this play. So here's one thing that I know a lot of it's been a play that's been kind of not necessarily very new, but within the last I'd say 5, 6 years kind of came about is duo. Now the way this mesh point is kind of does make it look a little bit. I don't know if I'm in love with this mesh point to be honest, or like the way they mesh it, but it still does the job. But nonetheless, duo. This is what duo is. Duo is power. I believe power without a pull. Some will say, but it's essentially zone tracking, but you're getting vertical movement. So, I mean, some people are like, well, that's what inside zone does, right? Here's what I think the difference between duo and inside zone and all it, again, getting a big argument because I know a lot of people, it's a lot of, so anyways, biggest thing in my opinion, this ball is being trying to be hit down this A gap. However, it could be able to, it's a blast to bounce kind of play. So if this linebacker, and again, it's really dependent upon this linebacker here. This is the read for the tailback, I believe. So obviously, from a offensive line perspective, we're here, we're here. You obviously as a center, you're 1 to 2 to there, but you don't necessarily like as the center or as the uncovered guy in this case. Even if this was a 2 eye, say this is an A gap player, you would almost want the center to be able to come off on this because the backer's going to play for fallback, even though it may look like the aiming point or the target is coming as an inside. If it's an inside zone track, the ball would be meant to be hit front side, or as the play looks like front side. Really, the front side of the play is this. It's this right side here, this left side, as you guys see it here. All right, getting a little too messy here. Anyways, read key here. This is the most important deal here. And again, one thing that I think that kills duo is having these head up techniques because then it forces guys to be able to come off on double teams because you want to be able to create these double teams to get vertical push. That's what makes this play. So again, let's see how this works. Again, having twos and sixes, especially here, like as the tight ends here, it can get a little muggy to be able to play do or run duo. So what I think this tackle backside 74 could have did a better job of is probably knocking this hip over before climbing to zero. And again, I know Roquan Smith is an all pro as well, so it's probably a KYP type of deal, but nonetheless, like it's like that's an ass whipper too, 98. Like that you gotta be able to get the downs don't matter as long like nothing matters unless the downs aren't moved. Is kind of what I'm saying. The D lineman got to get moved first. Same thing too with 53 here. Like so, Kelsey could have done a better job at first level before climbing to 14. So what I mean by blast to bounce. So see how really in this picture too, what kills it though is because he wants to bounce it, but he'll be bouncing it to this picture here, this guy right here, if you guys can see him. Because really, this read too is almost telling him to do that, but he can't do it because we didn't take care of first level. Um, and again, really too, I think we'll clean this up is if again we take care of first level, we knock this hip over before climbing, but we end up not getting a bigger play that could have been. All right, so let's see, say how much time I got left. We're getting short time. Okay, my fault. All right, so it looks like we got another bunch set. Again, they zoned it here. Almost looks like you're getting like a almost three high kind of look there. Huh? So, all right, looking at this. So again, looking at this front again, schematically, what it looks like from again what I would call for the center. I'm sure what he made for a call is a five down look, bare but jam, 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 and see how they all set to their man. See as soon as zero dropped, the guard looked back inside for help. Now, I mean, it's a pretty good game of the defense. D line's running here, and especially too. What I mean by game, I mean twist. Especially when you get guys to really engage. See, as the looper, obviously there's a penetrator and there's a looper. Usually, what I taught my guys is that when you could tell a twist is coming because the looper isn't really rushing. 98 does a pretty good job disguising this and then getting back into his twist. But you gotta, in order to stop these games in general, you gotta be able to stop the penetrator. Obviously, the center. I mean, that dude, he's another good center as well. He did a good job being able to pressure hop and stop the bull. But what could have helped him out is, I believe that's Tooney if he would have got some more pieces of him before he tried to kick out to the loop. Because if you don't take care of the penetrator, there's nothing. Like you won't be able to kick back out to the loop. All right, the motion, running reverse, pretty good by that tight end. See it, see it here by shooting it up, I guess. All right, so this is what we got here. And that what's interesting too, they actually brought the whole offensive line except it's like the yeah, the guard. So again, I mean, pretty simple reverse. They try to pin this end man 53 in. I believe that's actually Kelsey. That's what I'm saying. He blocks when he wants to block. Now granted, I mean, guy could have came back and made the tackle, but no, I mean that's a good job building a wall. I mean, that's the whole point of it is I mean that's a good execution. I mean, go celebrate a touchdown. So, like I said, man, I mean that was just one drive by each team. You know, like I said, I want to be able to keep going through this and giving you guys some nuggets of information that I've learned throughout the years. Uh, and like I said, just keep building upon this. If this is something that you guys are even more interested to see, if you guys want to keep continuing watching this game, please let me know. I'll be more than willing to keep picking upon where we just left off. If not, I can go to another game that I have access to from that channel. Again, I appreciate that channel being able to uh, broadcast those games because I know it's very hard to be able to do that. But um, if you guys enjoyed the video, like, subscribe. If you guys have any questions upon what you've seen or want an in-depth more analysis upon what was broken down throughout that, please let me know. All right.